Okay, I'm finally doing a quick update on some of the stuff I found in Rock Creek. Some of the bricks stampers I managed to get out of there that night, and I'm gonna try making this fairly quick because I have to at some point go to the creek today before it rains out the creek sometime tonight and washes all the stuff I have stacked around away. But I guess we'll get to it, and yeah, here's a broken stamper I found. I don't exactly know which one this is, as it's incomplete. This license plate fell. Okay, hang on, let me adjust this thing up a little bit. These bricks are a little... Sorry about that, technical difficulties. Then there's this brick here. I haven't cleaned the mortar off it yet, but I found this one, clearly. And well, I'm hoping to find a complete one out there. Because, yeah, it'd be nice to have this one and add this one to the collection. But right now it's just clearly half a brick, roughly. But, I'll stage up like that for a minute, or a few seconds, and I haven't even bothered to try looking this one up yet, just because, you know, I want the element of surprise when I do find a full one, and I can just look it up then. But it does have an interesting, smooth kind of feel to it. That could just been water washed smooth, though. It's just been in a creek for who knows how many years. And this was found in the Rock Creek that cuts through the cemetery of Mount Washington Cemetery. Like a place where people wouldn't go dump things if that cemetery's been there for a long time. It's kind of silly. But we'll get that one out of the way. And I'll get to this one here. I found me a Christie St. Louis, and this camera, it's really hard to get these bricks in here, isn't it? I got almost as much room to work with here, because I got surrounded by bottles and such, but I guess I'll do my best. Just get right in the middle of the screen, I guess. But yeah, I found this Christie St. Louis. I mean, I already had one from like years back before I even got into all this, but it's nice to actually find one that's not all broken and deteriorated and messed up. This looks like it still has some of the potential mortar or something on it. Or that could be discoloration. Or it got heated at some point, or something happened to it. I'm not sure if the camera or the lighting's picking up on that very well. Oh, and also on that note, I finally upgraded my phone. I'm not sure how much of an upgrade it is, but I'm hoping it's at least somewhat better than my old phone, because this still is just an entry-level budget phone, because I'm a cheapo, and I refuse to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a phone. So, but you know, in the back of my mind, I was hoping, since this phone is at least 3 to 4 years newer than my old one, I was hoping for a camera upgrade, which it doesn't. I don't know how much of an upgrade the camera is going to be, because I guess the sensor's about the same. And I went from a 13 megapixel to a 50 megapixel camera, but I guess that only matters on a bigger screen, so I guess we'll see how this turns out, as this is the first recording I'm doing with this phone. I just hope it comes out better and less, you know, staticky and jittery and all that stuff. Hope the lighting and everything translates better to the camera and etc. But yeah, this has got all these pittings in them. I guess they call it like iron pitting, but hang on, I'll be right back. Spur of the moment. They say it's iron pitting and whatnot, but if I get my little metal detector pinpointer here, none of these things actually go off like they're they're not ferrous, so I don't know why they call it iron. I can't imagine it got so high it just made it non-ferrous anymore. That just seems silly. But there's a bunch of it right here, and it just never sets it off. But this license plate here will set it off, so we know it works. This license plate here is one I found out in South Oak Park. Randomly just slipped this in here. It's from 1949, which holds true to the about the year of the year of the bottles I've been finding out there. And it's from Iowa, 1949. So maybe someone moved from Iowa and their tags expired and they just threw away with the rest of their junk over time, which accumulated in those holes I've been digging. Who knows? Or it's a stolen car. Who knows? Big mystery there. But so yeah, these aren't ferrous, so I don't understand why people would call that iron. And I've checked red bricks, and they're supposed to have iron in them too, iron oxide. I guess it's possible this is not enough to be ferrous. I don't know. But I guess it doesn't really prove anything. But so really that's just this brick. Not much really to see once you've seen a Christie St. Louis brick. But in my brick research, I guess these old markings, these old irony looking pockets do indicate older bricks, because I guess it is an older method of making them. In the mix, I guess it's something part that has to do with the mixture, I guess. I'm not like super, I guess I don't know. I'm not a brick making expert or a brick mixing expert. I don't really know. I'm just kind of going off memory from what I read. But I guess people say you can kind of age a brick a little bit by the this iron looking stuff in it. Because it does look kind of like something was looks kind of like iron. Looks like some kind of metal, doesn't it? Like up here especially, it's got like a little bit of a rust color going on there. But it never sets off the metal detector, so it's really hard to say. And guess I'll get right to the next one. And of course, I found another Christie St. Louis, about the same general area of the creek. This one has the same kind of iron or metal looking bubbles. That could just be really cooked material too, that just kind of bubbled out like that, to be honest. Certain parts of the mixture probably got hotter than others and it just caused that reaction. It just puts on the faux appearance of metal, even though it's probably not. Because if it was, it would be ferrous and that metal detector would go off. This one here this is probably just dirty from being in the creek, getting in it, saturating itself in there. But it is kind of weird that it's just like straight across the back right like that. Seems pretty selective, doesn't it? So who knows, that could be from something. I'm not going to jump to conclusions anymore. Because it's foolish. But this brick here, well, you can see it's just a Christie St. Louis. And the mixture for these bricks, particularly these Christie St. Louis ones, are very unique. They got all these big pieces of material in it, just sprinkled out the entire mix. Very interesting. Don't think I've seen too many other bricks with this type of mix. Especially with all the cooked out chemistry poking out right there, which does now look like metal. Which if it is, then I apologize for being wrong on that, but I don't think it is. I think it's just certain parts of the mixture got hot and just cooked itself like that, and it puts on the appearance of it. Because again, had that been ferrous, the metal detector would have registered it. just all these little white particulates in it. Very interesting old mix. I think I would say these bricks are definitely older than most of the bricks people find. These old Christie St. Louis ones. Because I sure the hell haven't made bricks like this in a while. So yeah, I'll get that out of the way since I'm showing that off too much. Then here's a new one in my collection that I found out there. And it's an Evans and Howard's St. Louis. Even though the mortar's blocking it, it's pretty self-evident what it says. I looked up and verified that is correct. So it's Evans and Howard St. Louis. You got Evans and Howard's, and obviously St. Louis. No sense in explaining that too much. And this actually has kind of the same big pocket of cookedness right there as well. It's kind of just sprinkled everywhere on this one. So to go back on that, this one's made similarly to these Christie St. Louis ones, but this one has a smoother face on it. Like the Christie St. Louis ones always feel super gritty. Because every single one I found of the Christie St. Louis ones, which are 3 of them now, they've all had the same consistent kind of gritty, coarse texture to them, feel to them. And I'm sure Ross of Water the Tree can verify this because he's got some in his collection. So as you can see, still got the cooked out material there, which puts on the appearance of metal. As of right now, that's what I'm going to be saying. Get this metal detector out, verify it's on, and yeah, nothing. So there's that. And this, like I said, has a smoother. You can just tell right away this one's smoother than the Christie St. Louis ones. In fact, I'll try to get them do a side by side here. Let me find one that has a cleaner back. This one right here. You can just see the. You can just see, and even hear it on the table. This one is way more coarse. This one's smooth. But they look like they're almost identical mixtures, especially where this part's damaged out right here. Looks almost identical to this. So I'm not sure if these are just really that old and the smoothness is worn off of them, or what's going on, or it's just how they chose to manufacture them. They wanted these ones to be more smooth and these just to be more coarse for, aesthetic purposes, I guess. I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I know, because, again, it's foolish. But yeah, they just yeah, just smoother. Okay. And I will do a bottle video again. I'm not sure how well those are doing, but I'm just doing it for my own sake. I don't really care if people watch them or not. So at the end of the day, I can give a shit less what my views are or anything like that, because I'm not doing it for that reason. But anyway, back to this brick, and I'm not going to go off on a tangent, because I'm sure that gets old for anyone who does actually manage to watch these, or they get amusement out of it, whichever. Smooth down this way. Smooth on this side, you can definitely see it's still got most of its smoothness there. That's really close. But whatever. So that's this brick, and I do have more stampers out there. I found, I don't know, let's see, maybe roughly 4 to 5 more I couldn't carry out. And I'll just keep that for the video. When I go out there tonight, I'll show those ones. I might even drive the car over there Go on the back side of it, the cemetery, off by 24. Not 24. That is whatever. I'll probably go off on the other entrance because the entrance closer to me is closed off because the bridge is collapsed. So I'll probably drop the car over there, and I might do a retrieval on those. If anything, during the recording or after the recording, I'll probably just move them off to the side somewhere in case the rain that comes in tonight gets bad enough. You know, I don't want them getting washed away or damaged or buried by other rocks and debris that get washed around, which can happen. Living by this creek, I've seen it shift and change so many times, it's not even funny. Entire rock beds just completely shift when the rain gets bad enough out here. Exposing new stuff though, yes, but I don't want to lose anything I found out there either. So again, Evans and Howard's, St. Louis. We'll just get this out of the way and get on to this next one. I'm not trying to make an hour-long video over a few pieces. And I know this is going to be kind of a unique one here. I can't get this whole thing in there. But this is a, I guess this is a piece of, it's not terracotta. It's actually, it's ceramic. It's labeled as ceramic. So this material here is actually, when you find this type of material, I'll show that here in a second. That's the surprise of it. Because I managed to find a almost complete tile of this. Let me just pick up the phone for a second and show this. Almost found a complete tile. Granted, a little bit of damage because obviously it's set in a creek for who knows how long. And this was found out by a cemetery also. What is building material doing like this doing out in the creek by a cemetery? Kind of odd. Because I'm under the developing opinion that most cemeteries, not most, well, maybe most, maybe even just some, might have been old world neighborhoods that got converted into cemeteries. Just because of reasons. But this is a ceramic one. And it's different than terracotta because I got a piece of that. I'll show that real quick. Well, I thought I would. Okay, yeah, I'll just use this piece. I don't really care. I'll do a video on the Aladdin Theater later. But yeah, there's this terracotta piece. It's got the same kind of glaze as terracotta, a bit finer. It looks like a little thinner, I guess, maybe. But other than that, it's, if I can get this to focus. Yeah, there we go. It's a very thin, nice coating on here. But as you'll see, actually, I could just probably hell with it. So what happens when you don't script out your videos? Just wing everything. Here's a piece of terracotta, which they do seem to be somewhat similar, but this mix looks definitely more coarse and thick. Like the particulates look more prominent in this. That's the right wording. As opposed to this terracotta, which is got this very fine look to it. Well, the ceramic piece, as it's labeled as. This has a more coarse look to it, and this has a very fine look. Hopefully that's making sense. Not sure if I get this staged up properly, but the matrix of this ceramic piece is definitely, just take my word for it, it's definitely a lot more uniform. I'm not going to go into like knife terminology or metallurgy, but the matrix is definitely more uniform. As you can see, I'll hold it there. This is where it's broken, so you can clearly see that it's a very fine mix. And I'll get this terracotta piece up closer where it's broken. to be fair. And this is just coarse. Of course, this piece is bigger and takes up pretty much the whole camera. Maybe let's get this little corner piece here. Yeah, there we go. We can see a little bit of glazed color there. Yeah, there we go. We'll just stick it like this. That way you can see a little bit of detail, have something to work with. As you can see, way more coarse. So terracotta and the ceramic material are somewhat similar, but it seems it just depends on how thick the mix is, the matrix of the particulates are, which might separate those, I guess. But on to the name now. Hopefully this stamp comes out, because this piece actually has a stamp on it. I had to clean some mortar off right here, but it's hard to make it out. It's looks like bearing. This part here's a B-E. There's an A hidden in there. It's hard to see it. It's got a weird dot stamped right on the A. It's hard to see it, but that's bearing. It looks like either an I or a weird slash there. Then ARKEFEX. Then it goes into ceramic. Get this camera moved over a little bit. I hit the bottles if I keep going this sideways. Oh, maybe this will work better. Hearing that gritty sound is annoying. And it's Ceramic Corporation. It's kind of cool. I've actually finally found a piece of this stuff with an actual stamp to work with. And yes, I looked it up and I couldn't find anything on it. Just nothing, of course. But there it is, clear as day, ceramic. So, I've been finding a lot of these pieces out there, actually. When I go out there and do that video, hopefully it's not a 3-hour long video. I'm just going to try to go out there and just try to walk through the creek and just show the stuff I found. It might take me some time meandering to relocate some of it, but, you know, that's how it goes. And it doesn't help the fact that I did it at like the middle of nighttime, early morning, because it was the only cool time to go out there. And I almost recorded my little adventure out there, but I was like, that's stupid, it's too dark. So I basically just figured I'd just get a bunch of stuff staged up and then go out there and do a daytime recording later. So I guess take you on an adventure with me when I go out there later today. So this piece here is particularly unique because usually when I find these are in broken pieces and I can't ever make out the actual stamp. This retains pretty much all of it because this is an actual whole piece. So it's interesting. Definitely nice. So I guess that is basically about it for this little show and tell of these creek finds, the rock creek finds by the cemetery. And these are obviously in the creek. It's not like I was up, you know, poking around cemetery stuff and taking things from there. This is clearly found in the creek and the rocks and stuff. But there's a lot more out there. And when I go out there and record it, you'll see. For those who watch, will see anyways. And it's like, why is all this destruction out here? It's a cemetery. Oh, they just chose to dump it out there. Who would drive out to a cemetery and dump stuff? Especially when there's nothing but trees and woods blocking the creek. It's like, if that's the case, it was a long time ago that this was done. 100+ years ago, easily. Because there's no way they can access the creek to dump the stuff in there. And I've been finding, like I said, a lot of this ceramic material just bits and pieces of it everywhere. Other stuff, I'll just have to show it the best I can when I go out there and record it. Not try to make a 2-hour long video, which probably is going to end up happening if my phone don't melt down in the heat first. So, yeah. Got a nice finish on it still for how long it's been sitting out there. And my camera light sensor still sucks apparently. Shifting around because why not? Party lights. Kidding. But yeah. It's almost like a cream blue almost in person. It's a very, very light blue color to it. It's really hard to capture on the camera. You can almost see it outside. Really, even in here it's hard to tell, but I think it has a very faint cream blue to it. So, I guess with that in mind, I'll just leave it at that, I guess. You know, and this there, and at some point here, maybe a couple hours, hopefully when it cools off a tad bit more, as it's already kind of the coolest day of the week so far. Probably go out there and do the recording of the Rock Creek again. I'm not really looking forward to wearing my waders though, because my legs get sweaty in those things, but kind of have to wear them to get it to certain parts of the creek, because that's just the nature of spelunking through a creek. So with that, I guess I'll end it there, and until my Rock Creek exploration showing things out there comes out, well, that's that. Well, I'll probably be uploading it around the same time, so it'll be back-to-back uploads, so I guess there's not going to be any real delay. It's just whenever I get to recording the other video and then uploading them. So you can just scratch that. So, yeah, guess I'll end it there then.